Okay, let's talk about the Plateau. I can't believe I've never talked about this before. Actually, before we get to that, let me show you guys all my previous topics. Yeah, it says August 2021, so that's quite a ways away. Okay, guys. That's not it. Ooh. Wait. Oh, there it is. Okay. So let me show you guys. Okay, these are all the topics I've gone over. If you guys ever want me to rehash something, I'll bring it back to life at some point. But look at all these. Short sets, long sets, emulating top players, physical exercise, move removal training, using meter, how training others has helped me. These are all things that I've gone over before. So if you guys see anything in here that, look at this, oh my god, dude. How do you guys expect me to keep coming up with subjects like this? Everything from having rank as a goal to leveling up with, in quotations, what does that even mean? Humility, tunnel vision, importance of tier lists, probably the stupidest subject I've ever talked about, how to elaborate, why it's hard to quit. So I'll let you guys take a look at this for a second. If there's anyone like, ooh, I wouldn't want to hear, this is one of my favorite topics here, momentum and restraint. This sounds like a fucking progressive metal album. The layers of the wake up options. I'll write that down. Really? I know I talked about it, but maybe this was before topics was a thing, like the importance of having a rival. I could have swore I had that. Huh. Funny that you say that, Notebook. I haven't done that yet, but that's one of the upcoming topics is my influences. So this is really helping out you guys. I'll write that down, Rich. Fair enough. Comparing yourself to others. We've talked about how to train when not playing. The 30-second playstyle, Chulak. You ever play and notice that every time you win or lose, it's at 69 seconds? That's because you have a 30-second playstyle. And if that's the case, you need to teach yourself to win with 40 seconds or less or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it was, is kind of helping you play, not the lame game as in just to slow down a little bit. GG's. That was a fruitful conversation. How to get better at the corner pressure? Maybe we can just make the corner sort of like a conversation. Well, maybe I can just like lump it all into like the corner. What about FGC heroes and villains? I don't really know. If you guys think that's an interesting topic, we can talk about that. Other than that, we're just going to talk about how, you know, is infiltration really a villain, or do we need F champ back? Stuff like that. Oh, has Brian F talked about that before? Because that's funny that he has that emote. That's weird. Pattern recognition. That was one I didn't realize I had talked about. Magnitudes of Failure. Again, another progressive metal album. This GG's one. I think if I go back and try to see which ones had the best conversations, I would say the GG's one. He gets 69 every time. It's not an uncommon thing. Infiltration used to say that. I noticed that. That's because this game kind of circles around a 30-second playstyle. 69 is a universal thing. It's not that he gets 69. It's like that's a common thing. 30 seconds. Like we kind of work on a 30-second ticker. Which has a lot to do with the game rhythm. Did I not talk about your like internal metronome? I could have swore that's... Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing a few You know what? I didn't used to record my topics, that's why. So I think there's a lot of things that I talked about that I don't use anymore. Player-specific game plans and how that can help you fight the character. Since I've been thinking about Art's sim so much, it's actually been helping me with the matchup in general because he plays the matchup how it's supposed to be played rather than dumbass autopilot shit. Least favorite things about Street Fighter V? Crush counters being in both categories. I actually like crush counters. It's just some of them are way too rewarding for what they are. The minimum requirement for Grandmaster, that was actually also a really hot topic that people chimed in on a lot. GG's, of course. What was the other one? Contributing to the community, that was a big one too, actually. We talked for like an hour and a half about that. I have some good... I think I can always come up with... I can always come up with subjects that can even relate to the ones we've already gone over, you know? But we can always talk about this stuff more. Urien, I'll go over Urien eventually. I just don't feel like I know that matchup well enough to talk about it yet, but I will eventually. Actually, wait, didn't I do Urien already? I did Balrog, Cammy, Fang. Oh yeah, Urien, dude. I did Urien. My YouTube channel. You can find it. It's actually just recently contributing to the community in Urien, so it might be Strat Chapter number 22 or something like that. I already did that. Well, anytime you guys want to talk about this stuff, maybe I'll have like a scrolling text on my what is a splash screen, by the way? Am I using that term right? Splash screen? Oh, a splash page is an introduction page to on a website. So technically that's what that is. How about the topic, the importance of the scene you surround yourself with? That's kind of interesting. Me in particular, I could feel this topic more with the NWI FGC than the Chicago FGC since I live closer to the former. Actually, I did something like that. Does where you live affect potential? That kind of got into the part, like if you live in an area where there's not a whole lot going on, you are at a disadvantage. But however, as time goes on, technology is kind of making it so we're almost all on a level playing field where, I mean, all the information is out there. The problem with that is it's good to have people chiming in on what you're doing wrong so you can get back on track faster. It's just like getting it's just like getting training lessons or something like that, you know? Do you need training lessons? Probably not. But it does save time and it becomes more efficient when you have someone keeping you on track instead of going off the cliff and trying to resalvage yourself. When I start up Street Fighter V on Steam, I get splash screen. Okay, I see. I got you. Another thing about that, Alex and Noah, is one thing that I might refer to for you is the topic I went over a couple of days ago of giving credit to everything. So instead of saying that everything you see is bullshit, putting it in a different lens of everything you see is so cool. Because that's not going to change the outcome of anything in the game, but it is going to change the outcome of how you react to stuff. Because if everything's dog shit, if Akuma's dog shit, if Urien's dog shit, G's dog shit, and you just look at it like a bunch of dog shit, you're not really going to leave the session feeling revitalized, you know? So if you try, I'm not good at this, but the few times that I've been able to be like, oh, so cool, you're kind of speaking the positivity into existence, and it's kind of hard to be pissed when you're saying positive things, but it's really easy to get upset if you're sitting there talking shit the whole time. Like, how many times are you going to lose to someone that you just deem trash and feel good about it? This person's trash, or this character's trash. How are you supposed to feel good after that? If you think the person's actually trash, like Alex, and you lose to it, it doesn't feel as good, does it? Especially if I lose to an Alex, like, oh, God, losing to the trashiest character in the game. Friend or foe? Maybe friend or foe touched on rivalries a little bit. Personal demons, maybe? Well, a personal demon doesn't always have to be a rival, but I just know I've talked about that. But again, that'll give me something to talk about later. What would make me a better player? Actually, you know what's crazy? I'm thinking about doing a self-assessment topic soon, where I really talk about the things that I feel like I'm actually good at and I actually suck at. And you guys can all chime in and do the same thing. What are the things that you think you're genuinely good at? Controller comparisons and the benefits of each. I've only played with 2 controllers. Have you talked about how to feel out your opponent? Categorizing your opponent and dealing with random crap and game rhythm, I think all might have done that. Something like that, but I don't think I've ever talked about quite how to get an assessment of what your... I feel like this has probably touched on it a little bit. Let's see here. Risk assessment? Okay, so I know I'm missing something because I know I did a subject on risk reward. That's the thing. What's up? What's up, Musty? I could have swore I did risk reward. Yeah, so I feel like I'm missing some things here. But even if I did, there is no... I don't have it here. And I wrote down all of them. So maybe there was just a time before the Strat Chapter. But actually, Mag, I don't know how you are on a mic, but you're someone that I would want to bring up onto the stream to talk about your problem-solving mentality a little bit. And that's actually something I could probably just try, like, in general, the whole problem-solving thing. Because I've been trying to adopt that a little bit more and just think about problem-solving rather than beating someone you're trying to solve a problem. And that kind of helps me reframe it in a way that doesn't make me so emotionally invested in it. Because, you know, you become emotionally invested in your performance or in your results. And I think looking at it like a math problem kind of detaches from the emotional aspect of it, because, I mean, unless you get really frustrated not being able to figure out a problem on a piece of paper, but how emotionally invested do you get in it unless you just think you're too stupid to figure it out? Statcast. You know what's funny? Rich said that. I also was thinking about the stack faculty, but faculty, you think about like faculty members, but it's actually you're like an innate attribute. I feel like that's what the best players do. They just detach all emotion from what's going on in the game and are just focused on the result. Yeah, and I've gotten better at that over time, but still, I don't like losing to people I think are trash or whatever, which is totally normal. And they're not even actually trash. It's just whatever you can label down to make yourself feel better. Stratcast, that's better. Yes, that's better. I thought it didn't have the same ring. I'm like, huh. The faculty, yeah. No, Stratcast is better. Yeah, it's good. So the plateau is something that we actually haven't talked about. I'm really surprised about that because a lot of people, everyone runs into plateaus. I have not run into a plateau in a while because I do not look at I no longer look at my gameplay as like a story too much. I'm just seeking a good session, you know? So if I seek a good session day by day, it helps me hone in on things, and therefore I never really run into these plateaus anymore, but I used to. I used to think to myself like, man, I'm not getting anywhere in this shit, you know? It's kind of easy to do that when you're really monitoring your results. But the thing about a plateau is you feel that way because you feel like nothing's changing. And the reason why nothing's changing is because maybe nothing is changing. And maybe all you need to do is just easily change something. I mean, if you, like, for example, if you find yourself plateauing because, I guess there's a ton of different reasons. Your win-loss ratio and ranked is staying the same. You keep winning and losing the same way, and even though you don't know what you're plateauing on, you just feel everything's kind of the same. Like you keep losing the same way, you keep winning the same way. Well, you could change that by winning in a different way. Just that in itself would at least make you change your gear on what you're doing. Pick a different character. The feeling of a plateau is really just I'm doing the same thing over and over. So if you just don't do the same thing over and over, there's no way you'll feel like you're plateauing anymore. At least, if anything, you feel like you're moving laterally, you know? And if you're going to be on a plateau, you might as well, because, you know, this is a plateau, you might as well search different avenues. Maybe you don't have to go up this way. Maybe you can go up this way or that way. But I think people are focused on like a storyline, like I'm supposed to go up this way, but plateaus are totally normal. It's just a stale state of mind that you get in. Yeah, where is BDN and Glitter? What the fuck? I think BDN is just, he's moved on, I think, man. I think he's just moved on a little bit. Anyway. Well, you can reach life plateaus, as Gloaming had earlier mentioned. But I've only felt that way a couple times, because I either feel like I suck or I'm good, and it depends on the day. And that's because, like I said, I don't really see what I'm doing as a story, and I think, it's kind of natural for people to look at their life like a story because you're the first person narrative. So you're telling yourself there's like some sort of story going on, like in the world that kind of revolves around like your results. But you're just another piece. And so nothing you do day to day seems consequential. So and this is what I envy the most about like Christians and religious people. Christians and religious people and people who have this blind faith in things, like they can just no matter what carry on, like this blind having faith in yourself, like a ultimate faith in yourself that no matter what happens, I'm gonna persevere no matter what. I just wish I had that blind faith that some people have. Some people just, it's actually like a pristine form of disillusion. Whoa. That one guy talked about it where he had to have like a illusion, like he had to be delusional and thinking that he could be the champion. But that's the only way you can become a champion, is if you really think that I can get to the very top. And who are you to think that you can get to the top? Well, kind of a paradox in a way, because you don't want to be delusional, but you need to have an overwhelming sense of self-confidence to be the best. So which one is it going to be? The only difference is 99% of the people that go for it don't get it, and only that one person can be champion. So the only difference between that guy who's delusional and then the guy he's fighting is delusional too, but one of them has to lose, and then so one of them is actually delusional and the other one's not. It's kind of weird, right? But I don't know. The only thing you can really do is stay true to your work, and if that doesn't work out well, then fuck. Maybe we're not all supposed to be champions. We're not all supposed to be the great ones. We can't all be great, you know? And I think you just have to settle for being average, above average, below average, whatever you think you might fall in. What the fuck difference does it make? Okay, so people are going to talk about your legacy for the next 100 years. Or people aren't going to talk, you know, or you're never going to strike your community as, you know, oh, one of the greats. Ooh, they're going to talk about me to their kids. Ooh. So yeah. I think I've settled into trash and it's okay, sort of, human says. If you're okay with that, then that's okay. But some people are not okay with that, and that's normal. Like, I want to be better than what I am. I want to be considered, I want to get top 8 in NLBC, and I want to beat Art finally, and I want to be considered someone that you got to look out for, of course. But if that's not the case, I have to ask myself, like, did I do everything it takes to get there? And if not, well, then what are you supposed to get upset about? And then if you are putting everything you've got into it and it doesn't work out, well, maybe at that moment it wasn't for you. Do I do everything I can to get to where I want to be? Is a hypothetical. Maybe, how am I supposed to know? I didn't do it. So maybe I didn't have the capacity to do it. I will be in NLBC tonight, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna try skipping dinner, or at least eating a light one, a lean night. How far did you get in that tourney the other day? Well, I keep running into the same guy over and over, and I can't beat him. So as long as I can't beat that guy, I will not be able to get any further. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm gonna try again. I've been studying up against him, but I could be doing more. I could be dedicating whole streams to beating Dalsum, and my chances of beating him would increase greatly. What if I just studied art all the time? It would increase my chances, right? But I'm putting like a priority system in place. I'd rather hang out with you guys and talk about shit and shoot the shit, play games, get 20 win streaks that don't mean shit. I should be in the lab with Dalsum right now. How often have you watched Art's streams just to get a better idea of his tendencies? Never. I go in there and say what's up sometimes, but I don't really study too much. I've been spending the most time just reassessing kind of like the way I do things, and it has changed my gameplay for the better. Just questioning why you do things, or seeing the game in a different way, where it's like, I never really noticed that before, and then you kind of dive further and you realize that this has been a part of the game that you haven't been observing the whole time, and your third eye opens up. What did that happen with recently? Oh yeah, the pattern recognition of like when that Shinku guy was doing EX Fireball into dash, and I never noticed it, and then as soon as I noticed it, I was like, oh yeah, some people do the same thing over and over in this certain spot. I've never recognized a pattern on that level before. So yeah, long story short, if you're having a plateau, you just have to change something, and it doesn't always have to be changed for the better. It could just sometimes be changing something in the system, you know? Like, oh, I mean, because that means I would think it's just because you're winning and losing the same way. Like, you don't feel any different about your wins and losses than you did 2 weeks ago. Like, everything seems the same. Well, then there's no way you're changing something, like, or learning something. Hawaiian shirt, man. I don't really practice, bros. I just lose till I win. Okay. Picking up a different character is good. I think I was under this impression too, that if you pick up a different character, you're gonna lose your edge with your regular character, your main, and that's just not true. I could play Chun-Li for 2 weeks, and then I go back to Akuma, and it would feel weird for a second, but then it would immediately start coming back to me. And as a matter of fact, I might be able to bring something from my experience with Chun-Li, like, oh, it might make me look at something differently. That's the kind of the beauty of using a different character. And I really should do that more often. I really should do that more often. Yeah, exactly, Mag. Chun-Li specifically didn't really look... Chun-Li, and it will help you with the matchup too. Because then if you get an understanding of what it actually feels like to be on the other side of the... Like if I pick Chun-Li and I go up against Akuma and I think to myself like, actually this feels kind of difficult. It gives me a better idea of like, oh, well maybe I need to capitalize on this more because I didn't realize Chun-Li's feel this way when I do this certain thing, you know? Like we all look at Chun-Li's stand heavy punch as like God level, but maybe when you use it as a Chun-Li player, actually you still realize it's God level. So point not made. It's a Dawson player who keeps beating you. Yeah. If you have a main, it never really goes away unless maybe if you stop playing altogether. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing Akuma for years. So, I mean, there's no way I'm going to forget that in a couple weeks. I can actually probably pick him up in 10 years. I could probably stop playing this game and then 10 years later, I'll pick it up and I'll feel weird at first. But I bet, give me one session, I'm back in action. Okay, so should we move to fighting Akuma? Let's just cover the most important things right away. Okay. The way he activates V-Trigger. Okay, that. This is the #1 thing I see happen to people who aren't good at the matchup. Or might be having problems in the matchup is they get hit with the second part of the delay stand heavy punch. And then or they try to like jump away like that, and then you get V-triggered. Can you even do this? Oh, I can't even parry there, so there's less than a 2-frame gap there. If you have a reversal and they do it that close to you, you can just let it rip anytime. Even I'm having problems with it. There we go. That's why it's so hard, because the hit stun's kind of weird. There you go. Block stun, I should say, is kind of weird. There you go. So that's a huge one. It doesn't look like you'll be able to stop that with anything else. But blocking is really a lot better than getting hit by the second part, so. You could, you could do the art method and just V-reversal the stand heavy punch, yes, for sure. I'm really thinking about V-reversals a lot. Another one, as I talked about yesterday, was this. Not free anymore, you guys. And as I mentioned during my last run, yeah, Akuma can do red fireball there, but then he's -6. So it's like, it's worth checking. It's worth checking. You know, if Akuma's gonna do a stand medium kick that close to you, yeah, it comes out on the second frame. It's weird. I don't know if they fixed that, but I remember I did a 2-frame gap parry and I was like, what? I could be spreading misinformation, but I remember covering a 2-frame gap thing. But that was in season, like, 2. What's up, Kike? So punish that, okay? And then also how much I get away with red fireball. I think people just, as I mentioned, I think people just like don't realize. Like, I don't know if Akuma can punish it, but certain people, other people definitely can punish it. Like from there, that's a Sakura punish right there for sure. I bet I can punish it with what has a 2-frame gap? Okay, actually, so here we go. This will be the true test right here. Wait, what? Guard all, bitch! Try to make it super tight, okay. Oh yeah. Yep, so it's definitely 3. I swear to God, I'm not lying, you guys. There's a 2-frame gap in there somewhere where I did this shit. Look at that. Look at this, guys. See that? After crouch medium, stand medium kick, that is still punishable. See that? And this is Akuma. Like, this stand like kick's not even that good. If your character like Ryu or Sakura or actually a ton of characters can punish this. That's huge. Okay. Also a big thing to note, I bring this up all the time, but it's worth it for people who come in here. Yeah, Ken can for sure. Stand like kick. When he activates V-Trigger, you all of a sudden have to really worry about, like, air fireball out of V-Trigger is not that great. It's easy to really not space out properly, but if he gets V-Trigger and then you're still trying to do button anti-airs, you're gonna get smashed up. Because this is exactly what most Akumas are gonna do. They're gonna activate and they're gonna do this shit, and you're gonna eat it because you're gonna try to press a button on anti-air like that. And it's 2 hits, so even if you have a parry, that's gonna get smashed too. So just when Akuma does an air fireball, consider the fact that they have to spend a big chunk of their meter just to do that. So if they're gonna spend a big chunk of meter, just give them the entry. Let them get the throw. It resets the situation. Look at this. Look at this damage. Okay. Oh shit. Sorry. Look at this damage. Okay. And then quick rise and get out of there. And then that's the end of the pressure. Why is he not recovering? Piece of shit. Okay, so a little bit of that. This, up and out. Mid-screen, I have not been able to think of a reason other than about right here where maybe you want to consider not taking the throw. Other than that, and you're about to die, even if you're about to die, you should still really consider always taking the throw against Akuma. Almost always. I'm trying to think of a time when not. But like you take it and then you get up and back up and you're gone. That's way better than, you know, whatever could possibly happen. So the four things so far is not getting hit with the stand heavy punch delay into V-Trigger, punishing stand medium kick if they want to try to do it really close like that, even after crouch medium punch. Red fireball is -6, so even if you can't punish it right away, it's still your turn big time. Those are and when he gets V-Trigger, let him spend the meter. Look how much meter he can only do that 3 times. So he activates, he gets 1, 2, 3, and then it's all gone by far. So if he does like this, that, and then then he's spending a potential V-Trigger knockdown on that. So there you go. I really think when I'm playing an Akuma, I just think let him use his fucking meter on that if he wants to use it. Your character might have an answer for it. Alex is like knee smash. Akuma has an EX demon flip to get through it if you can react fast enough. I do that sometimes to get right through it with that. Some characters have it, but it's kind of dangerous to try to dash under it because if they do like a shallow one like that, you're gonna eat it. Let's see what else we got here. I guess it's sort of important. I don't really see this enough, but he can Tatsu out of the corner. That's always something you want to consider. The funny thing about teleport is it goes right outside the range of when you can actually do something. So I'm going to have him do this on Wake Up. And he should be right out of my area. See that I get away with that all the time. This is what it looks like. Oh god. And you miss it because you're like, I think you're anxious to not miss the recovery. But you have a little bit more time than you think. Let's see if I can double dash on his ass. I've never really blabbed this, I don't think. Maybe you have to wait a second. Nah, see, that won't work. It's got decent recovery, actually. Yeah, so if you're playing it using Akuma, you have a fast enough walk speed to get over there, just do that. But it's funny, if you invest in something bigger, it might even be tough. Oh shit. Invest in something like a heavy DP meaty. There you go, you just gotta go a little bit further. If you meaty jab, is there enough time to throw? That could be, although... Yeah, there is, but I mean, this is not a wake up that you should try to predict. Most of the time, I don't think. Oh, mature! Mature TV! Thank you very much. Were you streaming? Good games, buddy. You even have time after crouch medium punch. That's a thing. But then you'll have to like, kind of... Oh, actually, is that like an option select? That's not quite an option select now. Yeah. I'm doing real good. Doing real good. Just going over the Akuma matchup right now for people, just like the real basics, you know? Oh, a big thing. Oh, it's no problem at all. Another huge thing about Akuma is this. Okay? This is hard, but anyone who knows how to stop this from happening, it's -1, you know? So, Akuma's, you can stop what they're doing right after that. 4-framers still have to hold it a little bit. But at least you could trade. What's up, Sanford? So that's a big one too. Why is this -1 for Akuma but -3 for Ryu? Ryu's has more active frames. I would like to have a little bit more active frames. But would I want it to be -3? Actually, yeah, I don't give a shit. Make it -3. Okay. What else can we talk about this fucking character? If you have an EXDP, you should always be looking for Red Fireball from something like this. Red Fireball comes out of here a lot. Give Ryu Demon Flip. If you see this, you should always have like your EXDP lined up, because that gets canceled into the alternate. It's like a one way to really make this move pretty safe. Still Chun-Li, Kareen, or not Kareen, I'm sorry. Armika can punish this with like an EX Peach or EX Legs, respectively. What do you think about the Guile versus Akuma matchup? I don't like Guile. It's a really tough 5-5. That's what I think. Okay. And another thing to note about Akuma is that the Raging Demon threat, of course. Think about the situation. Everything's a 50-50, right? Like if I knock him down right now, this is a 50-50, right? But is it a true 50-50? Or is there a way to tell what give an indicator of what he might want to do? Because remember, Demon is a really crazy command grab that burns all of your resources, and if you miss, you're auto dead, right? So it's a huge risk, it's a huge gamble that you don't necessarily need to take, but some people want to end the match there. So if you get a sense that someone has like a faster playstyle, like myself, it's reasonable to assume that me doing a Raging Demon is a lot more likely. Whereas if I fight someone like that Zero Goki guy, who plays really slow, he doesn't do demons, and because he plays so slow. And Sheldon doesn't really do demons either. Another guy who plays kind of like a slower, methodical, slower kind of textbook way, whereas I'm fast paced. So unsurprisingly, I want to do a demon. I want to get you in the 50-50 demon situation. So I'm more likely to do it. It doesn't really help out too much in thinking about the 50-50, but it's good to know who is more likely to do something, or if a situation is more likely to present something, you know? Will a demon kill you? It's a big one, of course. If a Akuma ever does a demon and it doesn't kill, it either was an accident or not thought out at all. And are they going to die if you jump it? Do they assume that you don't see it? Sometimes I'll do a hard knockdown on people. I don't even think they know the situation. Like, they don't even realize what's about to happen. And they're demons guaranteed, for sure. But for people that you play a lot, you know, you have to assess some things in the situation. How much V-trigger do I have? That's another big indicator. If the Akuma has this much V-meter left, maybe they're more likely to do demon. Because makes a lot more sense to do demon when you have this much V-meter than this much. Because if you have this much V-meter, then you can keep it safe, do the crouch medium kick. You know, you can follow up the crouch medium kick into a whole V-trigger combo. If you have more than 1 meter to spend, you know what I'm saying? So, but if you have this much, then a demon might be coming. Try to think about it like that. I didn't want to give this tip since I'm an Akuma main, but you can compare your health with the stun bar. If it's very close to it, you will die. Yeah, well, sometimes. Unless you're Urian and have 5 million fucking health. Okay. So that's a big one. Yeah, like I noticed it myself. If I have this much meter left, I might do demon. I think I'm more like the idea of demon comes to my head faster, you know? I'm like, ooh, demon. You know? So keep an eye on how much V-trigger someone has. I always do this when I'm playing people who are, especially like a little bit lower level people. If they have, like if I'm playing a Kami and they have this much V-meter left, I really wait for the dive kick. I'm like, okay, you got 1 second left on this fucking V-trigger. Here comes the dive kick. You know? That's the game I play in my head. Anything else? Another big one. Real corner pressure versus. Hey, I have the whole topic of corners coming up in the future. His stand-like kick is only +1 on block, just like Kami. It's the same thing as Kami, except not as good. So, if you sense a throw coming, you can stop it with a 3-frame character. What's up, Stone? So +1. It's actually not. It's just like Kami's, but not as good. Okay, so it's worth doing sometimes, because the only way that a Akuma can beat this, is if they do stand light kick, stand jab. That's the only way. What to do if the other Akuma just back heavy punch instead of DP? That could be under like taking advantage of button anti-airs. They do have other options, Berg. Like for example, if let's say you're using Alex. Maybe Alex is fucked. What's the software for the PS4 controller? I think it's called Gamepad Viewer. Yeah, like Cody could do V-Skill. And the only thing that's going to lose to it's a shimmy, and that is a big risk. But yeah, I mean, I was doing crouch light punch to you, but the thing about crouch light punch is you have to walk in. So it's not, I can't just do crouch light punch right into grab like this. I don't think I can, at least. Yeah, see? Stand light kick is the only one that I don't have to walk in on. But if you get hit with a crouch light punch or block it, I have to walk in. So it's not a true. It's +2, but it's not true because the walk in is like another 2 frames. So really, that's probably a 5-frame gap. Let me see here. Let's see how often I can squeeze in a stand medium kick. See? I have to be really on point. Well, actually, it's gonna work because he's throwing the kick. Yeah. So, challenge sometimes the tick. Challenge the tick sometimes. Ow. Those are all important things. You take those all into account, you should have a little bit of an easier time against Akuma. And also, this is just from my recent video, you guys. Good Akumas are going to try to confirm, and they're going to fucking miss sometimes. Make sure you're getting a big punish on it. Why was that? Why did that not work? Oh, I think it's only -7. Yeah. But if they do something like, oh, and also same with his DP. Okay, make sure you're getting fat boy punish on the DP. I always talk about this. Don't, I mean, you're just gonna give me a chance by doing this? You're just gonna go like this? No, get a big boy punish. And what's crazy about these types of jump-ins is you can, as Espadachim, you can even activate up here and still get the jump-in combo and still do V-trigger for literally half his health without spending a bar. So that's pretty big.